You're listening to The Fellas with Anthony McCoy,
Listen, man, that wasn't my fault. It was an unknown error.
Rich Thurston,
Someone said it was like the Bulls never changed their passwords, and Tibbs just popped in and did an auto trade.
Kev Lund,
We're out here doing this podcast, and these fools are out here blowing Super Bowls. Like, let's switch that up. Pay me a cool million, and I'll call the right place. I promise you.
and Kyle Straub.
When one of those point guards is James Harden, yes, the answer is yes, they are a better team.
Had a week off, but we are back. Well, at least three of us. Some technical difficulties holding Rich out, at least for the beginning. Thanks for joining us here on The Fellas. Kyle Straub, Anthony McCoy, Kev Lund with you. Super Bowl is set, fellas. The Patriots and the Eagles. I know we all thought the Patriots would get there, but how shocked are you guys with what the Eagles just did to the Minnesota Vikings?
Never saw it coming, dude.
Never. Not even an inkling of that happening.
Nah, and they came out the gate, too, the Vikings, and it was 7-0 quick.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, man, there it goes. And their purple and white unis look crisp out there on that field. Like that was the best thing that looked good about them after that touchdown, too. They were terrible.
They were riding that miracle win the week before. I thought everything was going to happen for them, and it just all went the other way to Philly.
That pick six that Patrick Robinson had was sick. That like swung it. I think what was it 7-0, and I think that tied it up 7-7. And I mean, I looked and saw him pick it. And he was on the sidelines, and I thought he was going down. And then like, what did he do? He cut like across the field and kept it going the whole way.
Yeah. Were you surprised by how well the Eagles defense played?
I mean, I've been hearing like how nasty this defense is supposed to be, and like they make the biggest deal about this guy Fletcher Cox, and their secondary came to play, man. That's what was the big thing. Like instead, like they showed clips of them just getting burnt all season long, and they held it down.
They did. I also think maybe Case Keenum showed up for the first time this year, the real Case Keenum.
I think that had a lot to do with it.
You know, this guy was not a starter playing the way that he did at any other point in his career, nor did anybody think he was going to. So maybe a little bit of Philadelphia playing above their head and Case Keenum coming back down to earth in the biggest game he's ever played in.
Which lines us up for Nick Foles versus Tom Brady.
That's going to go well.
This whole championship weekend played out like, if you look at the history of these teams, like the Vikings get blown out in the championship game when they should win.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Patriots
that is
come
true.
back and, get a touchdown late in the game to win. The Eagles, show up in the championship game and will probably get blown out in the Super Bowl. Like, this is what all these teams do.
Yeah, it's history repeating
Yeah,
itself.
you
That's
don't
a
have
really
to
good
watch
point.
it,
Yeah, like I didn't have to watch it. I've seen this happen multiple times with these teams. Like, this is, it was a foregone conclusion what was going to happen this weekend.
Yo, Kev, right before we came on air, you actually had a great analogy with the Patriots game. It was like watching a movie that you've seen 20 times. Like you knew what was coming, except there was just people on the screen that were trying to change the ending, but it wasn't going to happen.
You just felt it. Like I was watching it with Leah, and I was like, watch them. They're coming back."
Yeah, so it happened with me right before halftime.
Oh yeah, when
The Jaguars screwed up. They let Tom Brady get a touchdown, and then they were like, "Oh shit, just take a knee. We got to get into the locker room." Like, "Oh, this game's a wrap.
yeah, and,
Tom's got him."
and McCoy, have you seen like highlights or anything of the game?
No.
So you didn't see that crazy fumble that Miles Jack had, and they've
Nope.
been like, so like he basically ran over and just straight jacked him of the football like from across the field. And
Who took it from him?
Miles Jack took it from Deion Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the Patriots had the ball. They were moving down the field. It was like, "Oh, here they go."
And it was
And this
it was
dude just
20 to
straight
10
ripped
at
it
that
away
point.
from them. It was the most Patriot thing that ever happened that they normally do to people.
Yeah.
But here were the Jaguars doing it. It was like, "Oh."
But
look
you
at
hear
them. They're
everybody's
trying to change
complaining
history.
is that when he got the ball, he got up and ran. They blew him dead. They whistled the play dead, and they're like, "Oh, that's all." the refs on the
Yeah,
Patriots side
of
again,
course.
because it would have been 27-10. But guess what? I still think that Tom was coming back regardless, because the Jags didn't do a damn thing on offense the whole second half.
Of course not. That's
What do you
happens
think,
when have
Straub?
Blake.
Even if they don't blow him dead and he runs it back for a touchdown, 27-10, I still think they come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised whatsoever.
No.
I mean, they came back
Not
from what,
whatsoever.
28-3 in the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, that's
which
what I mean.
which kind of brings me to a question I wanted to ask you guys once we got on here. Can you think of any other person or team in sports that their fan base can just be like, we're losing? Whatever, we got this. The way the Patriots fans can?
probably
To
not.
that impact. Do you know what I mean? Like 28-3
Like
in the
does-
Super Bowl
like it
like
doesn't
last
matter. They were
year.
down
Like,
10 or they were down 10 points with 9 minutes to go, and everybody was like, well, the Patriots are going to win this game.
yeah, I mean, I remember
There's no
saying
question
that
at
like
all.
yesterday, like when they were down, whatever. I was like, this is nothing for that team. Like 28-3 in the second half of the Super Bowl. You came back
Second
from
half,
that.
son. There was like a minute or two left in the third quarter. Like
That's what I mean. So
Like the only thing that came to my mind that was on the same plane of this was Tiger Woods pre all the stuff that came out that screwed him up and his career went downhill after that. But like before that, if Tiger had a lead going into Sunday, you knew it was a wrap. You knew what was going to happen. The way that the Patriots go into a fourth quarter and you know that they're going to score every time they get the ball.
it's insane,
Yeah.
man. And that was his 54th comeback win. Like 54, dude. Like
that's
just
incredible.
ridiculous.
so, like like, I don't understand how you can even pick against them, and really think that somebody's going to beat them. Like you can come with whatever stats, like Jacksonville's defense is amazing. Like they've beaten that team before. Like they played great defenses, and until somebody actually ends the game winning, you really can't think the Patriots are going to lose at this point.
That was the 2009 and 10 Jets. They had an amazing defense, and a running game,
Good
and
running
a
back,
and a
right?
shitty ass quarterback. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Been there, done that. You know
I've
what I mean?
seen it so many times.
Like I don't care. Like I like Jalen Ramsey. That dude is the man. Like one of the up and coming D-backs. But if Wes Welker and all those little guys tore up Revis, you know what I mean? These guys are gonna tear up that squad too. Like they've seen
Right.
this. They have the formula to do that. It's just unbelievable, man. Like, and they made this big deal about this guy's cut on his hand.
Yeah, all
Dude,
week.
that was
yes,
the biggest
yeah.
ridiculous news conference nonsense. Had to wear the gloves to like cover it up and shit.
As if it was going to make a difference in the end.
None whatsoever. Like,
ESPN just has to try to sell something to get people interested in the game, I guess, at this point. Like, well, the Patriots won't lose under. There's nothing wrong, so we'll just make this injury seem far worse than it is.
The biggest bunch of bullshit was the pregame. He was out there tossing the pigskin back and forth, and he had like a black piece of tape that covered like a piece of his hand. And they were like, "Oh, is that going to affect his velocity?"
Yeah.
And here he is in Foxborough just whizzing it in practice, and I'm like, "Come on, man! He's going to go out there
Yeah.
and throw 3 touchdowns and whoop ass."
Yeah, he's not worried about that. Like, he's not even going to feel that shit once the game starts. Like,
no, he was so pumped full of drugs, he wasn't going to feel that.
nope. Ain't
I
worried
don't even
about
think
it.
he needed that, man. It looked like he had like 4 stitches in his hand. Do you even need painkillers for that?
Probably not.
Probably got him anyway.
One, maybe one Vike could do you good.
Maybe a
Hey,
half
listen,
for Tom.
Tom's clean. He's above that. He doesn't need stuff like that. He can just have more vegetables in his juice.
Yeah, soak that in a kale shake.
Nope. So much.
Did you guys see who was hired for the Titans' new head coach?
Your boy,
Mike Vrabel, right?
12 catches, 12 touchdowns in his career.
Get him in there. He had a bunch of the Super Bowls, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know he had at least a couple of them. Yeah.
They're probably
Did he
half of them
ever,
are probably in the playoffs or something. He wasn't getting regular season.
Was he
shine.
coaching somewhere?
Texans.
He was their D coordinator.
Okay, at least he had a job somewhere. I didn't know if he was coaching or not. I just heard his name and was like, holy shit, haven't heard that name in a few years.
Yeah, me too. Whenever I always see his boy, you always see the other one, Brucey on ESPN.
Oh, when's
Oh,
he
Teddy,
getting
Yeah.
hired?
Get all these Patriots out of here.
All of them. Well, their assistant coaches are going to be head coaches elsewhere.
The Lions and the Colts. That's what it looks
I was
like right now.
I heard something today that 3 of their assistant coaches may get hired.
The linebackers coach, right?
Yeah,
The
Edwards
Ware
or something like that.
Didn't he? I think he interviewed it with the Cardinals, but they hired the Panthers D coordinator.
Oh, okay. I saw the Giants finally hired somebody today too.
Shermer.
Pat Shermer.
I don't think that was their fallback option.
Wasn't he just telling people like the other day like not to ask him about it and stuff?
Yeah,
Probably because they were
going to
getting ready
Super
for the
Bowl.
NFC Championship
Yeah.
game, you know.
Yeah, I get it, but don't like just completely dismiss them. Like, no, I'm not taking that job, and then 2 days later, yeah, I'm taking the job because we lost.
I don't think he's going to be that good.
I don't see what the big deal is about just saying like, yeah, I'm interviewing for the job.
I
Was he the
think
D
he's-
coordinator or O coordinator?
Oh, offensive coordinator. He was the O coordinator with them, and then with Philly before that. But he had he was the head coach of the Browns.
The
Well, I'm
Vikings
not holding
offense is
anything.
trash.
I'm not holding anything with the Browns against him.
When has
No.
the Vikings offense been good for him to be getting head coaching jobs though?
Supposedly this year was what he did with Case Keenum.
Yeah,
I mean,
good
they
luck.
were a pretty good offense, but he also
Yeah.
had two really good wide receivers and a really good running back in Dalvin Cook before he went down.
Oh yeah, I forgot the head coach. He went down early, didn't he?
I think it was like week 6 or something like that, so pretty early in the year, yeah.
Yeah, and he's getting all this credit
Can
for
we really
for
stop
that,
doing that?
for Philly. I think he was the offensive coordinator in St. Louis at one time. But like he won nine games in 2 years with Cleveland. I mean, better than Hughes done. Hughes got what, 1?
I lost my train of thought here watching us throw another alley oop to Luke May for some reason.
You guys are gonna lose, man.
Probably.
Probably, yep.
I'm fine with that though. I'll take the loss for the week now.
It's a road game, tough environment. We're a team that shoots way too many goddamn threes because we don't have a big man.
We haven't won a game on the road yet, have we? Not in the ACC. I know both of the losses are road losses.
We haven't played 5 straight home games, so we had to have.
Oh, we beat Clemson at home. Where did we play Wake Forest?
Wake Forest was on the road.
Oh, there we go. That's the road win. I need it.
Yep. Had to find one in there.
hmm
You been watching college basketball at all, Kev?
Somewhat. It's still a little early for me.
Yeah, well, McCoy and I were talking a little bit about it, and ESPN's starting to push him really hard. But watch Trey Young if you can.
Oh, I've watched him. I know all about that motherfucker.
It's been crazy.
I can't believe he's kept it up. Because I remember
30.5 points a game, 9.7 assists.
I
Although
mentioned
McCoy just saw
something
a
about
stat, he's also averaging 7 turnovers a game.
7.7, and that was just in January though.
Oh,
I remember
okay.
mentioning
So at least
something
it's not the
about
full
him
year.
on like an earlier podcast, and we really no one really knew who he was yet. And
Yeah.
then over like the course of like the last 2 months, that dude has just kept it going.
Yeah, well, when we first mentioned him, it was when he set the record for the most assists in a game,
Yeah, that's what it was.
and he's just continued to go nuts.
His usage rate is 41%. So,
It's like him and Bagley
it's
are
ridiculous.
like top 2 players, right?
Yeah, in the college basketball, yeah, absolutely.
So like whoever gets the number 1 pick is gonna have to decide between a big or a small.
I don't know if that's 100%. This maybe McCoy knows, but I think I've heard something about some foreign dude.
Luka Doncic or whatever.
Yeah,
He's like a 3,
he,
like a wingman.
he may be the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
He's not NCAA though, right? He plays
No, he
overseas.
plays
No,
overseas.
he's playing
Yeah,
overseas.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really good, but he's not. He's like in between, so he'd be like a wing.
Luca. Yeah.
Like
I
if the
forgot
Bulls
about
got the number one pick, we should probably take him. You know.
Oh, you're taking Jalen Fisher, man.
No, son.
Nope. That was a terrible pass. Nope. They showed a highlight of the Oklahoma TCU game where Young was hitting a three right in your boy's face, Kev.
No, yeah, I saw that they were going back and
He got
forth.
at him in that game.
Yeah,
He
he
almost
did.
had a triple double.
Did you see?
Get
Did you
outta
see
here
the
with
highlight of
this
that?
nonsense.
Did you see the highlight of that dude from TCU? I think it was like November or something, where he had a wide open layup to win the game and he missed it.
No, really?
Yeah, it was hilarious, man.
That's
Oh.
mad funny. Good.
It came
He's
on
just
the
trying
TV.
to drop in the draft a few spots, son.
It came on the TV and I was cracking up. I was like, "No way, that's too perfect."
Too perfect.
That's funny.
Kev, I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Do you like sushi?
I haven't found one I liked yet.
Because that shit is
But
gross, son.
you've tried it.
Just the California roll.
But you've tried sushi before. You've had a piece of sushi, so you can say you don't like it because you've at least tried it.
Yeah, but I don't even know if it was sushi. It's just imitation.
That's exactly how you end up with a 5-foot tapeworm.
Son, what are you talking about? You don't know if it was sushi. A California roll is
because-
sushi.
Yeah, but out here, like, I think like it's like cooked fish or something, or cooked shrimp or something. I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
it's real
still sushi. So sashimi is raw fish. Sushi encompasses all of it.
Got you. I mean, it's huge out here. Like people love that shit. There's like
Yeah, I love
places
it,
you
too.
go, unlimited. You get all these like rolls of sushi, and you could just keep eating that shit for hours and hours. No.
No, you
Hours.
can't. You can't eat sushi for hours and hours. That shit is too
Do you see
filling.
these
Rice,
motherfuckers these Asians I work with? They will eat that shit all
just
night.
gobble it up.
Now, when they go do that stuff, I get the tempura, like the fried veggies and shrimp,
Uh-huh.
and then like teriyaki bowls and stuff, and pot stickers and stuff like that. I don't mess with that.
Yeah, I like all of it. But so my point is, when I was home for Christmas, this fool McCoy drinking his nasty ass eggnog made me try some of it because I couldn't say that I didn't like it until I at least tried it. So I did. But he won't try sushi when he comes out here, though. But he claims it's gross. That's a foul, right? He's got to eat some sushi.
No,
I
you
mean,
know why I don't have to eat sushi?
Out here
Because
drinking eggs.
I'm not trying to get a tapeworm, son.
You're not going to get a tapeworm. I'm not going to take you some grocery store to buy some sushi.
Yeah, I
You
watched.
might.
No, son, we'll go
Speaking
to a
of
real good
tapeworms.
place.
Speaking of worms, I watched this movie.
Speaking of worms,
I watched. I watched this movie with the
where's
dude,
Dennis
the
Rodman?
dude that played Harry Potter. What's
In
his name?
Rehab.
Radcliffe.
Yeah.
He played in a movie called The Jungle. Have you seen it came out like just a few months ago.
No.
So they get him and his buddies go on this like I don't know some adventure on the Amazon and they get lost. And they're on this raft that they made out of branches, and he gets tossed off and he bangs his head on this rock in the middle of the Amazon and just like gashes himself. Like 2 days later, he's walking and he's like and it's all bruised and he touches it and that thing starts to move on his head. And he has to take some rock and cut his head open, and he pulls out this big ass worm. And McCoy over here talking about these tapeworms reminded me of that part in the movie, seeing this old ass Harry Potter looking guy. He hadn't eaten in like 17 days. He was
Yeah.
covered in mud, and he's pulling worms out of his
Pulling
forehead.
worms from his head. Oh, shit.
That sounds terrible.
Oh man, that was
That
wild.
sounds awful.
What kind of a movie was this? What happened in the end?
Oh man, so it's
Like,
a
what
true
was the whole
story.
point of
It's
it?
a true story.
Oh, so it was like a crash or something, and this dude survives?
4 people go like on some like these randoms that go out and just go adventure in the middle of nowhere, and two of them were taking a raft on the river, and 2 of them were gonna walk the path. So
Okay.
the two on the raft, they hit like rapids and they fell off and got separated. So one guy ends up finding a village, and it took them like 3 weeks to find Harry Potter's ass out there. And when they found him, he was stood up and he was covered in mud, and he couldn't even yell because he hadn't eaten in like 3 weeks. And the guy
Just
randomly
that
looks
depraved.
off this like little like canoe boat and sees him, and they save him. And the other two dudes that walked on the path, they were never saw again when they left.
That's because they got found by those headhunters out in the Amazon.
Something. The
Or
Jaguars.
the Jaguars, yeah. Yo, you saw the clips of the Jaguars hunting crocodiles and shit now?
Yeah, I put it in
What?
the chat room, man. Fuck
I don't
that.
care how small the crocodile is. It's
I
still
don't care
a
how
crocodile.
big that. Yeah, I was gonna say. That cat just looked like it was all muscle.
100%. Has to be jumping off a bank into
Drag
the
it.
water being like, I'm going to eat that thing right now.
Just came out of the water with a crocodile in its mouth. I didn't know they were
Not
crazy
at all.
like that.
Would have thought it'd be the other way around, like the cat goes to get something to drink and the croc chomps down, but
And that's it, right? What else are you guys about to do down there in North Carolina?
well, so McCoy's never actually been to a North Carolina game before. The only time he's ever been in the Smith Center was when I first moved here. They had a 100-year anniversary, and it was a pro alumni game, which was dope. Like, that was the first time either of us were in the Smith Center, and it was all the dudes that are playing pro ball. So this was on, like, Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson, and those dudes were still playing. And they came back, and they played a blue
That's cool.
versus white game. So that was the only time he was there. So I'm going to try and get them in, depending on the practice schedule, and get them a tour of the Smith Center when nobody else is there. Some VIP stuff.
Yeah. VIP. All high VIP. Rolling up to BIG.
So
Um,
you were down there though when they played like Duke or something, right?
Yes.
McCoy?
Yeah, we were down there when Earl was down there. We were down there.
The Sam fiasco.
Sam
No,
wasn't
yeah,
down there. It
Sam-
was just
Oh, I just remember the fuck Duke
Wait.
in his chest.
what? Yeah, I was down there
yes,
by
that
myself,
time,
right?
the second,
It was just me,
yeah, the
you and
second
Earl,
time
right?
you came by yourself.
Okay, yeah. So they played Duke in the last game of the regular season to win the ACC championship. That shit was insane, son.
Yeah.
After the game, this dude shows up on the roof somehow. Me and Earl were just out in the crowds of people. Like, everybody was hyped and all pumped. People were setting fires in the streets.
Yeah, I'm sure that shit was nuts.
Son, you couldn't move. Like, there were so many people just flooding the streets. It was ridiculous. It was awesome. We were all lit. We were drinking some sort of rum. It was a good time.
that was in the poor days, so it wasn't Captain, it was Sailor Jerry.
Yeah, the Sailor Jerry's.
Sailor Jerry and Admiral Nelson.
Admiral Nelson.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw some Admiral Nelson.
This was the
Yo,
first time
the
I
first
ever
time I
saw
saw it was when
it.
Earl was living with me, and I came home one day, and he was like, "Yo, I found something that's half the price," and he's an admiral.
And he's
You know why? Because the first time I saw it was with him. It was at Sarah
course it was
Quimbo's,
with him.
wedding.
That's
And we
funny.
got lit off. And there was there was all like different names for everything. Like there was no Patron. There was
Oh,
somebody
it was all
else's
like the
name.
off-brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the less famous younger brother, the younger sibling.
Yeah, it was like going down the cereal aisle and going to the bags on the bottom, bottom shelf.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna bring them to
That's-
the Smith Center to try and do that stuff, and then we're also gonna go to UNC has their own museum here, and they just updated it for the first time in a while because we just won another national title, and I haven't been yet. I haven't been
No
yet
better
because I've
reason.
been waiting for this fool to get down here. So they get here Wednesday, and probably that day we're going to the Smith Center to go to see that museum.
Yeah. I'm
Last
down.
time we were there, we saw Brad Doherty.
Yep. We saw
Yeah,
a bunch
well,
of
we'll
people.
have
son.
to we'll have to make sure to go back on Friday because that's when people are kind of hanging around, and then the
Yeah.
game's Saturday.
Yeah, but we walked in. I remember we walked in there. We saw Zeller. We saw when we were just chilling on Franklin Street because Sam had to get pizza, of course.
Shocker there.
Me and him are outside. Yeah, like we were chilling outside, and John Henson and Dexter Strickland walked by right by us, and then Ed Davis walked by us like 2 minutes
Aged
later.
us, man. And they're young compared to some of the other players.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the 5 players,
Yeah.
though. Henson, champion. Davis, champion. Zeller,
Happens when you come to
champion.
North Carolina, boys. Don't be a fool. Don't be a buster
That's
like
right.
Zion Williamson.
Zion, yeah.
Is
Trash.
how pumped is Caleb?
Oh, he's ready to go. He's
He-
going to be all pumped. He wants to see the Jordan stuff, I know
There's
the most.
plenty of
so.
that.
He doesn't have off,
Yeah.
right? You're just taking him. You're taking him out of school
Yeah,
for a couple days.
he can miss a few days.
Yeah,
He'll be
that's
Listen,
all right.
right.
this
you
is
can.
this is more learning than he's going to do in those 2 school days anyway. Some
Yeah,
real
right.
life lessons here.
So, yeah. Of championships. But they showed in the one game we were watching, they showed the trophy case. And I was like, oh, Caleb, we're literally going to be right
We
there.
can take a picture of you in front of that, dude.
Yeah, he was like, really? Like, I'm like, yeah, son. Like,
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
so I don't think he like I don't think he gets that. Like, he's actually going to like be there, you know? Like, he's always like, really? Like, he's like, no. Like, you
It'll
don't
be
believe
exciting
your
to
son.
see his face because, like,
So-
I remember when my cousin first brought his 2 kids, who are much quieter and more reserved than Caleb is. Like, their eyes lit up. Caleb's gonna be like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit," or he may just slink in and be
Yeah.
real shy because he's overwhelmed.
Depends. If there's like other
If he's
people
overwhelmed,
around,
I'm kicking
sure.
him in the
No,
butt.
I don't know.
Boy, you don't understand what you're
He's
getting to
gonna
do right now. I would have
Man.
killed for this at your age.
Yeah, right. I had to wait till I was like
No, you had to wait until
26.
now. This will be your first real game.
The new
Yeah.
the game, yeah, absolutely. I think he'll be hyped for the game.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a noon game too. Normally, like
Right.
if it was just you, I'd like it to be later, but noon will be good for him. And then we can.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be nice. So we
Yep.
can walk up to Franklin Street. If anybody ever goes to a Carolina game, do yourself a favor. Walk through campus from Franklin Street to the Smith Center, and then back afterwards. Beautiful campus, nice walk, and then Franklin Street. You end it with some drinks, or since we have children, just some food. Drinks at the house. Listen, man, no drunk
I was
driving.
gonna
No
say
drunk
that looked
driving.
like
Uh-uh.
Hangover.
None of that.
No. We'll have some Sailor Jerry's later in the day.
I got captain. No sailor anymore.
McCoy's gonna strap big ass Caleb to his chest and walk around Franklin Street.
Yeah, right. He's gonna have to strap me to his chest.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
I can't wait. I'm pumped myself to go to the museum and the game.
Hell
meeting.
yeah.
Like the alumni game was sick, but it's not like an actual
No,
game.
but you know what? I was thinking about this earlier today. That's probably the best way to go to somewhere because we grew up in New York, being fans of North Carolina. It wasn't like we had an opportunity to go to the game. So having all those
right.
years of being fans for the first experience to encompass all of those
See all
players
those
that
players.
we loved growing up.
Yeah.
Like when Jameson got on the screen, I was like, this is so dope.
Yeah.
I felt
All right, and then Jordan came out.
Yeah,
and did the
with his
speech,
arm
son.
on Dean,
Yeah, that's
like-
it. I was hyped.
I was 24 at the
Yeah.
time, or 23. I felt like I was a 7 or 8 year old kid all over again. It was awesome. But now you'll get
that
to
was amazing.
experience.
That whole weekend was fly with the football game and everything. Like,
Yep.
Everybody
and
was in
to the
town,
story
too.
that Kev was alluding to a little earlier, where he said the debacle with our friend Sam. Our friend Sam likes to party real hard and then go to sleep. Like 20 minutes after he
Early.
started drinking. And he's a hairy bastard. I mean Chewbacca hairy. And I like to fuck with him in my younger days when he would go to sleep. So I nared Duke Sucks into his back hair while McCoy was there when he passed out on my living room floor, and he had to brandish that the rest of the weekend walking around Chapel Hill.
yeah, the rest of the weekend, because that happened literally like 2 or 3 hours
Yeah,
after
I
we
am not
landed,
joking
son.
around when I say that dude will drink for 20 minutes and pass out because he goes too hard.
It was still daytime when this happened. Like that, and then the chicken
Oh,
platter
Oh,
were my
God.
favorites.
So
Oh, he did that out
so
here
we
too.
went to Chick-fil-A because they had their like wear your game, get a free chicken sandwich. Okay. Yeah,
Just
just
for wearing
wear,
your sports
wear your
team
shirt
gear.
on the game day. Or no, it didn't
No.
even have to be a game
I'll
day.
be here 3 times.
So we walked in, 3 of us.
Bringing
Myself
all
and
my
McCoy, we
jerseys.
get change them, right? Eat one and just change it. Myself and McCoy, we get our
No, that
free
wasn't
chicken
me.
sandwich, and Sam gets up there and says, "I don't want a sandwich. I want your freaking family-size nugget platter."
Your like the catering
Catering
platter.
one.
not
Yeah,
like-
as soon as he said, I don't want a sandwich, I was hopping in from my register. Like, yes, you do,
Take the
son.
extra sandwich.
Like, you're bringing home another free chicken sandwich. Like, what
So
do you
Kev,
mean?
this dude gets the
Only Sam.
platter-sized chicken nuggets.
Yeah, remember he had it here.
When I was there, yes, because I
When
told
you
you
were
the
out
story.
here?
That's right, and I ate them
That
on him
big
again,
thing,
McCoy.
the big circle thing, like it looked like it looked like he got it from like the
Yes,
deli in
yup,
the
on the big
grocery
black,
market.
on the big plastic black thing.
The Walmart
Eats-
deli.
Get
Yeah,
a kiss, man.
eats half of them and then gets upset when we're drunk and we want to eat the rest.
I could see. Well, I saw him because we were eating his chicken too. You just feed him alcohol, wait for him to pass out, and eat his
Son,
chicken.
he was sleeping. Son, he was already sleeping in bed with Duke socks in his back and a 2 in his chest.
Didn't it start off as an S because he did it backwards?
Yes. He said, I walk around like I got an ass on my chest and tried to go shave ass in his chest. Son. He comes out and we were just dying. He's like, Kyle was like, oh, is that a 2?
Cheater, that's why.
Yeah,
he didn't
that's
do
what
that
he
on
was saying.
accident.
So this man had a Duke socks
Wait,
on
wait,
his
wait.
back
Duke
and 2
socks,
in his chest. That's supposed to
D-O-O-K.
be an S.
And it was burnt into his
Yes.
back because we been there
Burnt
laid
into
on it
his
for an
back,
hour.
son. Yeah. He rolled over on his back, and we were like, "Oh no, make him wake up!" So we tried like making him move. Eventually, he did. He was like, "Ah, my back," and then he went back to sleep.
Sam, if you're listening, give me a text. Do you still have the chemical burns on your back? Did I permanently scar that into you?
I hope so. It probably does. He just has to do sucks every time he sees his back. That's a job well done.
That dude, man.
It was bad when we were out in California, Kev, because of the time change. Because, like, he got
Oh,
drunk,
man.
but then when he would wake up, it would be 5 in the morning when we're all sleeping, and his loud-footed ass is tromping around the apartment and stuff.
He was getting it in at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
He was, man.
And probably
Ripping-
sleeping
ripping
and
the
waking up
bomb.
again. He was probably sleeping and waking up again before
Yeah,
y'all
because he was
woke
going to
up.
bed at, like, 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Rich isn't going to be able to
Wake
get in
up.
here, can't figure out his computer. Yeah, it jumped from
no
you to
error.
him this week. But
Strikes again.
I was saving it for
Yeah.
him. Did you guys realize that 12 years ago today, Kobe Bryant dropped 81?
No.
Yeah, I just saw it pop up on
Yeah,
Instagram.
I was actually surprised when I saw it because usually when there's an anniversary of Kobe Bryant doing something, there is no shortage of texts sent from Rich in the group chat, but there was nothing today.
Probably
I'm
technical
sure he watched
difficulties.
They spread
Yeah,
beyond just the computer.
I'm sure he watched
Virginia
it.
Tech is really storming
Right.
the court right now.
So some class Hokies.
It's
Good
Travis
for them. I hope somebody punches one. I hope one of our players punches their fan in the face.
Don't say that. We don't need people getting suspended and stuff.
Son, that happened in some college
I
game
know,
a couple like
yes.
last week, and they got nothing happened to
no,
the dude,
because
right?
it was basically like he was defending himself.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't remember what game it was, but yeah, I do remember that. What were you going to say, Kev?
Well, speaking of suspensions,
Uh-oh.
do you think Robbie Anderson's getting suspended
For what?
for going 105 and a
Oh.
45, and then telling the wife he was gonna nut in his wife's
Yeah,
eye?
I think that's probably
Did you have a
that's
Jets
probably
on that?
going to get him
Yeah,
a
he
suspension.
said, "I'm gonna come in your wife's eye," like
What?
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. What position
Wide
does that
receiver.
dude play? What position
Yeah,
did he
wide
play? He's
receiver.
probably
He
about
was
to
more
get
of
cut,
like
right?
a punt return slot kind of guy. Sheldon
he
Richardson
tore
got
it up
suspension,
this
right?
year. Well, that dude was going like 140.
You know
and a
what?
60,
I
but
think
he
I
had
think
a
once you
kid,
get to triple
weed,
digits,
and a
then
gun in
it's
the
just
car.
all the same, like way too fast.
Yeah, but Sheldon had a
True.
kid, gun, and weed in the car.
Did we ever find out
It
whose
was like
kid
his
it was?
cousins or something.
It was like his cousins. I mean, like his uncle, or like it was like his
Yeah,
nephew
it was
or
a
something.
it was a relative of
Like,
some
it was
sort.
part of the family.
Yeah, these two guys here in the old school pinstripe Shaq and Penny jersey, though. That's official.
The sweaty ass coach is on my screen right now.
Yeah, I got him too now. He's probably telling the fans to get off the
No,
court.
Buzz-
Like, he probably
Buzz
doesn't think
Williams
this is cool.
is I mean, you saw him hopping
Schwab,
around.
the thing that sucks about Anderson though, if he gets it, like that he's an asshole like this, is he's actually pretty damn good.
You think he's released? Did they already cut him?
No, they haven't cut him
I
yet,
mean-
but I mean,
He got in trouble. He's got 3 felonies pending against him in the last year because he got like in trouble for whooping someone at some concert last year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you know he's not going to get convicted of all 3, but if he was your regular average Joe, that dude would be gone forever right now.
Yeah, he'd
he's
already.
serving
Yeah.
years.
Especially in today's league.
And
Especially in today's league.
I mean, with nobody at quarterback this year, he had 60, almost 70 catches, 900 something yards. He had and like 7, 8
Oh, really?
touchdowns. Yeah,
So he's pretty solid then.
he had 5. At one point, he had the longest active touchdown streak in the league.
So what
No,
you're
this
telling
year.
me is he's not
No,
getting released.
But he will get
I don't
suspended,
think
though,
so.
to the original question. I think he'll probably get,
He's got to get like
yeah, that's what I
2
was
to
going to
4
say, 2 to 4.
games.
He'll be fine with that.
He better be.
With the NBA, you could just go out there and punch people and get 1 game suspension. I'd be punching people all the time if I was in the NBA.
Yo, right? I don't know. Like, they're letting dudes fight if that's the case. I'm surprised nobody really has, like really tried to fight. Like, dudes
Like,
throw a
did you
punch or
see
two, but that's
that,
it, you know?
that shit with Aflalo, like he just wasn't playing. Like everybody else was talking and playing around, and Aflalo was like, "Oh, you pushed me, I'm punching you. I'm throwing haymakers."
Did you see Pop's interview
Yeah,
when
word.
they asked him about fights in the NBA recently?
Yeah,
He said, they're
Yeah,
the
I
biggest
did.
manly-pandy things I've ever seen in my life. They're jokes.
No, I did hear that. Yeah, because dudes aren't really
Yeah.
like, throwing punches, you know? Like,
don't tell Aaron.
follows haymakers. He put his head down and just swung, like. So dudes aren't like
That's
actually like
follow
squaring
that.
up.
Love
Okay.
the Spurs.
Why? What did he say?
Did you see that fight
Yeah,
against the Magic? Like I'm
yeah,
saying,
he's just
like, I'm
throwing them wild punches
for no reason.
for
Like,
no reason. Son. The other dude just put him in a headlock too. Like, oh, come
Like,
here.
everybody else is jawing and arguing all game, and Aflalo gets tapped, and he ain't having none of it, dude.
No, none of it.
The
None of
shortest trigger, dude. Don't
See the
fuck
dude with the
him.
weird-ass hair?
Nah, that's
Oh, okay.
Alfred Payne
Alright.
you're thinking about with that like floppy thing in front of his
Yeah.
head.
Did you see the recent report about Kawhi and the Spurs and Pop?
Yeah,
A little divide there. Maybe
there could
maybe
be tension.
Kawhi actually wants some limelight, unlike Tim Duncan, and will leave San Antonio.
I mean, if there's really something going down, then yeah, it's
If he
a
ever left,
possibility.
where do you think he
Why?
would go? Like where's he from? Does he have ties or anything like that?
How much
He went to
limelight? I
school
think
in
he's
San
San
Diego.
Diego State. So maybe the
Oh,
Lakers may be rich
shit.
with Kawhi Leonard. You know, if you want the limelight, if you want the spotlight, where better to go?
Chicago.
I'll take it.
Riley's gonna go after him.
I wouldn't want to go to Miami with how
Their
they're.
fan base is?
I mean, I guess it's probably a stupid thing to say, but no, just like the off-season training is known for being like
Oh.
crazy hard, and they have like a really strict off-season like workout regimen.
Oh, so
have
you
to
want to be
follow.
lazy? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I can avoid. See. Nah, it still didn't work. for me.
Actually, the way he was just talking to us, I thought it did. Rich tried one last time to chime in
Yeah,
there
me
in case
too.
people are wondering what we're talking about.
It's great because we can hear him
Yep.
perfectly.
Uh-huh.
He should just talk.
Just drop in comments in the background.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Nah, but yeah, Miami's supposed to be crazy like that, so why am I gonna go there and do that when I can go to another team and still,
You
you know,
gotta
obviously
pay
I'm still working.
taxes there, man.
I can go to Houston and go beat people up in the locker room.
Through secret tunnels.
Only if you know the way to the back tunnel.
Yeah,
like
got that
Zelda out
inside. Yeah.
Mario Brothers, this guy just knows all the green tubes.
Yeah, I don't get like they said they Chris Paul, like how doesn't he get suspended for that? You know,
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't understand how if he's sneaking dudes through back tunnels in the locker room to get there, like that
Seems
seems
like
like
a
you're
lot,
instigating
right?
a confrontation. Yeah, like I feel like he should have called a suspension.
I
on
would
that.
love to know what actually like went down. Like I want to see a video of how all this happened.
Yeah, me too. Like who was the slacking? And well, they snuck in, so nobody had a chance to see him. You know. Like,
Seeing
who was
Austin
slacking?
Rivers in his gray ass suit with his big ankle foot boot on, sitting there talking shit was just like, man, shut up before you get sat down.
Yo,
with your
that
ankle
fool.
boot.
Did you
I
see
wish
how
he
the other day
did.
he also claims
I
claims
wish
when
he
he was
did.
in college he won National Player of the Year? Not
Who won
Austin
that year?
Rivers.
I know it wasn't him, but
I have no clue who won it that year. When did he leave Duke?
I don't know. I don't care enough to even want to look it
Yeah,
up. 'Cause
true,
it's
but-
Austin Rivers.
but yeah, like, This dude's
I
out
wish
here
somebody
pulling
just
Donald
said
Trump
that.
stuff. He's so stupid.
Was him and
Yeah,
Steph's
Donald
brother
Trump
on the
stuff.
team at the same
What's that?
time? Was Rivers and
Yeah,
Steph's brother?
Seth Curry. Yep.
There's a buster. Imagine being him in the family. You can't even go to Thanksgiving feeling good with yourself.
He's solid though. Like he's not bad. Like obviously he's not Steph, but who is?
Apparently,
he's-
Trey Young. If
He's
you
not
listen
bad.
to
Like, he's not a
ESPN.
bad player.
Man, that
Go
dude
fuck
is
him, Kev. You're right.
man. That dude is a scrub compared to his brother, and it's like if you're not like in tune with NBA, you're like, who the hell is
You don't
this
know
No,
that
you
guy?
don't
dude.
even-
Yeah.
You don't even know
You
he's
didn't
got
even
a
know
brother.
Steph
Yeah, you don't
had a
even know that
brother.
he has a brother.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like you're that bad.
You're the third
Like, if
Manning
you were
brother.
just okay, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Steph's brother."
Is
You
he
can't
be-
even
you think
get
he could be
that.
better than Dell though?
No.
No.
No. Like if you hear all the old people talk and they talk about like best pure shooters, Delt comes out of most of their mouths.
Man,
That's right, he does.
I remember being young, just using him in a video game.
Just-
he,
yep.
he could shoot.
Yeah, he was always a nice player to have on the Hornets back down with LJ and Muggsy and Zoe.
Yeah, see,
Then you got Curry out there lighting
you
it
ain't
up.
picking Seth Curry in the video
No,
game.
no. I'm about to bust out that all-time Hornets squad next time I play 2K.
Like, there's some kids out there right now about to turn on 2K. And, who the hell is this Seth Curry? Oh, shit. Steph's brother.
they'll be in their my career and play the Mavs and they're like, oh, how'd the Mavs trade for Steph Curry?
Right?
Because he wears the
Exactly.
same number.
Trying to be like him. Yeah.
They are
So
worth
dad's
30.
number.
They'll worth
Man.
30 also.
So was he more recruited or something than Steph? 'Cause
Oh,
No,
went
he
to Duke.
transferred into Duke actually.
Yeah.
He played at a small
Oh,
school.
alright.
It may have been Davidson,
I didn't know that.
and then he transferred into Duke after 1 year. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, he sucks.
Yes, he does. Him and Rivers.
Yeah, they can both go
Even
somewhere.
Duke fans don't like Austin Rivers.
Duke fans like JJ Redick, so I'm sure a lot of them like
Fuck
Austin
J.J.
Rivers
Redick.
too. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
your boy Grayson
Crybaby.
coming to the coming
He's
to
not
the
going to be
NBA.
drafted to the NBA.
Yeah. He can go play for your team, Kev.
And go play with this boy at the Pistons, Kennard.
Go for it. They can be the Duke of the NBA and get their asses
Two whites
whooped.
holding it down in Detroit.
They ain't
The
messing
white-
with the Bulls.
the
so
white
as
duo.
long as
You know
he
what,
stays
I'm-
away.
The
Stay away
white
from
duo
Chicago.
of
You know what I'm
balling in
upset that
Detroit.
Rich isn't here for as well? It was something I wanted to bring up was his whole North Carolina needs to get all the top recruits because that's how they'll win. Kentucky ain't even ranked anymore. They keep on losing, and they get all the top recruits. How's that working
right.
right now?
Well, that's his
Yeah,
Calipari.
I think he's probably gone from Kentucky soon.
I mean, if they don't
Well,
turn
not
it
even
around,
just
yeah,
the way the
but-
team's performing, not just that. It's the recruiting stuff. Like Duke just got
Why?
Zion Williams,
Cheating?
which gives them the 1, 2, and 4 recruit next year. This is the third year in a row where Duke has gotten more of the top recruits than Kentucky has. So if he's lost,
So what's Kentucky getting? 2,
but if
6,
but
and
if
7,
Calipari
though?
sees that he's losing his grip on that now, look at his career. He jumps ship when it's at the top. He's not going to stick around while everybody
Yeah.
else starts to catch up and get more one and dones because Ben Simmons went to LSU and little guys are going elsewhere every once in a while. Don't be surprised if in the next year or two he bounces and gives the NBA one more try.
It's going to the Lakers.
Maybe him and LeVar would be a hell of a
That would be
show.
insane. That would be insane.
He's gonna get AD and go to the Lakers.
AT and go to the Lakers. Imagine that.
That would be crazy.
You think Rich would be pumped if they got down
If AD
Calipari?
was going along with him.
Probably not. But if he gets AD with it, then
Yeah, he'd give it a
But if
chance.
it's just John, like if he's got to get rid of Luke and they're hiring John, no, I don't think Rich is going to be happy.
he's got to go somewhere where he can just get like all of his boys, like Boogie and Wall and AD all together.
He'd come to Chicago and get all
No,
those
fuck
guys.
him. He can't come to Chicago.
I'll
Yeah,
take
but
all
that's
those
not
players
happening.
and
Those dudes are
Calipari
never
over
going to
Fred
play the same
Hoiberg.
team. So fuck him. He's not coming to Chicago.
No. For all them players at the same time, I'll take it. Well, I'll bet you be the coach then.
That's fine. I'll be the coach. We'll get a title.
Yeah. No.
Coach K over there.
Who?
Coach K over there.
Call me
You.
anybody but Coach K.
You. Nope.
I'm going
Your
to get
boy.
slapped the next time I see you.
Coach Kyle.
No.
Coach K, yeah, man.
Call him what it is.
You don't call me by my first name. That's not respectful. Otherwise, his name would be
That's not respectful.
Coach M, like you, McCoy. Coach M. I can turn this around.
No.
Kev is Coach
He's-
K too. Get
No,
out
you
of
sure
here,
can.
man.
Yeah, both y'all is Coach K.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem.
Ain't no
with it.
Coach M, man. Nobody knows the Coach M, so
It's the secret
that's your
coach.
boy.
All right, so without Rich, we're probably going to cut this one a little bit short this week, but we'll try and get one in that's longer next week with all 4 of us back in, and McCoy can tell you how his first experience here at UNC for an actual basketball game is. But before I go I want to
Heels.
get your predictions for the Super Bowl.
Why don't we do this
You want
closer
to
to
just
the
wait for
game?
Rich and all 4 of us do it? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then at that
absolutely.
point, we're out.
Peace.